Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge news and I just hope that this video is allowed to stay up. So please give this video a like right away and go ahead and watch it all the way through and share it because people need to know this. We cannot forget how the American people, if you live in the United States and other countries as well, but you have to deal with your governments if you're in another country other than the US. But we cannot forget how the American people were treated by the government here in the last few years. Because if we do forget, we are doomed to have this done to us again, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you had your lives turned upside down in the last few years because of the health crisis? Well, now, little by little, things come out that we were not allowed to know back then. Big Pharma paid $690 million to Fauci's agency during the health crisis. Why in the world was Big Pharma paying almost $1 billion to a government-run agency, especially this person's right here, who is supposed to be the head, the lead of solving what was ailing us during the health crisis? During the health crisis, the American people started to feel that big government was very cozy with Big Pharma. Now we know just how close they were. I have to say this is all opinion, in my opinion. This is just something that I am reading off of an article. This is not my opinion whatsoever. I'm going to do my best to keep my personal biases out of this article. By the way, I do a terrible job at trying to keep calm during this read. New data from the National Institute of Health reveals the agency and its scientists collected. Listen to this. This is disgusting, ladies and gentlemen. That's why in this country there is no such thing as curing an illness. It's just treating it so that people can get rich off of the misery of others. They collected over $710 million in royalties during the health crisis from 2021 through 2023. I wonder how many people ended up being multimillionaires that never were. These are payments made by private companies to government organizations that were in charge of telling us how to live our lives. And it makes me sick, ladies and gentlemen. Because people like this that were saying, you have to do this, you have to do that, you don't have a choice, the hell with your freedom. Now they don't remember anything. Back then, they were cognitive enough. They had enough, mental power to say, you can't do this, you can't do that, you have to wear this. No, now you have to wear 2 of these. But now they can't remember a darn thing. And all they do is put on a show in front of Congress, but they never go to jail. They never go to jail. Anyways, I digress. I need to settle down. My blood pressure is getting up. Information about this vast private royalty complex is tightly held by the NIH. My organization, OpenTheBooks.com, was forced to sue to uncover the royalties paid from September of 2009 to October of 2021, which amounted to about $325 million over 56,000 transactions. And that's only from September of 2009 to 2021. Now, from late 2021 to 2023, it equaled more than twice that $325 million. We had to sue a second time with Judicial Watch as our counsel to pry open the new release. I wonder why they didn't want to give up that new information. Payments skyrocketed during the health crisis era. Those years saw more than double the amount of cash flowed to NIH from the private sector compared to the prior 12 years combined. All total over $1 billion. It is unclear if any of the health crisis royalties from the juicy juice from these 2 pharmaceutical companies, the latter of which settled with NIH by agreeing to pay $400 million. And they don't even know, they wouldn't even tell them if that's part of the 700 and something million that they collected between late 2021 and 2023. I want to tell you something. I wasn't personally affected by the juicy juice because I decided to decline. I decided to use my no muscle, but that's besides the fact. But what I want to say is this, even if you weren't, because I come across people and say, oh, I didn't do the juicy juice. Right? But we were all, the American people, affected, because I bet you that almost everyone you come across can tell you a story about someone they know or about someone who knows someone that was affected by the juicy juice in one way or another. That's putting aside all of the freedoms and liberties that we were made to give up during that time, or I would say, controversially speaking, that we decided to give up by not using our no muscle. And that's why you have to be prepared for anything, because it allows you to say no and still continue to live your standard of living. Let me digress. The American people have one last crack at getting some candor from Fauci, the face of our health crisis response, when he testifies this Monday before the House Select Committee on the health crisis. And you know what's going to happen? Zero. Zero is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. You know why? Because this system is not for you. This system is not for the average person that works a job. There is nothing that's going to happen to that man. It doesn't matter what they uncover. It doesn't matter how many injustices they uncovered that he did. Nothing will happen. And that's why we have to remember this. That's why we have to continue to talk about this. Because the next time that they come up with one of these things, right? Things, we can say, no, we remember what you did the last time. There's no darn way that we're going to do it again. And here they're saying that on top of trying to cover up the things that have happened in the past, that they're still to this day trying to block FOIA requests from getting out. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because the information there, in my opinion, is going to put people behind bars. Just not the people that should be behind bars. More than likely, the little plebes that work towards the bottom of the totem pole. But I digress. Characteristically, NIH is still redacting pieces of the data that would help us more easily connect therapeutics with their government-paid inventors. For example, they refuse to show us the amount of royalties paid to each individual scientist, so we still can't entirely follow the money. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave the link to this article on a pinned comment, and I'll just finish it off with this. You can come back and revisit it. It says in the bottom, among the government's most basic duties to the public are providing for the general welfare and reporting its income and spending. Let me go ahead and cover real quick and providing for the general welfare, because I had not really an argument, but a conversation with a colleague of mine when I was still working here a while back. And he said, well, the government is supposed to give people food. It's supposed to give people housing. It's supposed to give people cars. It's supposed to give people free health care, free college, because in the Constitution it says, or in the Declaration of Independence, I think it says, providing for the general welfare. Can you really think that when the founding fathers wrote those documents and they said providing for the general welfare, that they literally meant that the government should be in charge of telling you how to live your lives, of giving you food, of giving you housing? Do you really think that during that time, 1770s, right? Middle 1770s, right? That they really thought that that's what government was supposed to be about? Absolutely not. They wanted government to have absolutely nothing to do with their lives. By providing for the general welfare, ladies and gentlemen, what I believe they mean by that is that if the government has offices in place, for example, the Department of Homeland Security, and they see that there's 10 million people that shouldn't be coming to our country unlawfully, that they should provide for our general welfare by not allowing those 10 million people to come in and bring in whatever diseases they may bring in, and bring in whatever crime-ridden gangs they may bring in, and bring in all of the sorrow that comes with all of the young girls that get SA'd during the trip, etc., etc. That's providing for the general welfare of your people. It's not giving them a piece of bread and telling them how high they should jump for that piece of bread. Anyways, I digress. I'm going to leave it at that. I think you get the gist of what's going on here. Never forget, ladies and gentlemen, never forget what these people did. There will be a day, I believe, that famous people who are backing this stuff up, what we're talking about here, and politicians who are backing this stuff up will not be able to walk the streets unless they have a lot of Second Amendment people around them guarding them, i.e. security. Security is going to be a very, very prosperous business in the future. Not only to guard supermarkets, all right, like they're already starting to do in certain places, but also to guard these rich people that were in on this, and especially those that became multimillionaires off of the back of the American people and their health and their children. Having said that, God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out. Ladies and gentlemen, the sponsor of today's video is Jase Medical. Some of you may ask, but AP, don't you already work with a company that provides antibiotics? Yes, I do. And I've often said that competition is the best thing for the consumer, guaranteeing that you get the best product at the best price. And that's why I've decided to partner with Jase Medical, because they offer different things at different prices. And you can see for yourself, they have the Jase Go Bag, which is a brand new travel size kit that you can take with you pretty much anywhere you go. And it has you covered for over 30 different illnesses. For example, motion sickness, diarrhea. I know it sounds nasty, but these things do happen. STIs, UTIs, ear infections, pneumonia, strep throat, pretty much illnesses that can ruin your fun during a vacation or getaway, but can also be used to prevent illnesses from getting out of control and being life-threatening. And for the rest of the summer season, Jase has provided me with a coupon code that allows you to deduct $20 off your order at checkout, which is twice as much as the normal $10 that they offer. So check out the new code and the link on the description of this video, and also I will leave it on a pinned comment. And thank you very much, Jase Medical, for sponsoring this video.